I didn't think I'd have to make a follow-up on this so soon, but here we are, aren't we? Last weekend, I made a brief video covering sexual predator Taylor Stanley LaSalle, aka Grizzly the Medic. LaSalle was discovered to be a member of BronyCon staff by Baji, an associate of Vita's who was in attendance at BronyCon. Vita recognized him post-BronyCon as someone who sexually harassed and attempted to groom Mint Hart in the past. Vita and FNGR both have hosted streams on the issue, and I confirmed everything they told the public via Leo Convoy and made a video of my own, as did Leo. That same night, 3 more girls, one of whom was 14, came forward. Ida, Emily, and 2 other girls whose name I choose not to repeat at their requests put their reputations on the line to come forward and seek justice, as well as to warn others of this monster's behavior. Leo Convoy has, since this came out, organized and compiled all known evidence and is in direct contact in the police in LaSalle's hometown. Hi, this is Editing Patchwork here, interrupting myself for just a minute to show you guys these screenshots that I got from Leo Convoy. Shout out to Leo here, just for all the awesome work he's been doing behind the scenes. He was apparently able to get in contact with the PR Twitter for BronyCon and get a statement as to how they are handling things internally. They did state that they are willing to work with police and work towards Taylor LaSalle's arrest, but still continue to refuse to make a public statement of any kind or get involved in supporting Taylor LaSalle's victims. This is not a surprise to anyone with more than 3 brain cells. Thank you, and back to the rest of the regular video. While he pursued this, I've been on a very different campaign. It should have been easy enough. I planned to attempt to persuade as many conventions as possible to make public statements banning Taylor LaSalle and vocalizing their support for the girls who were abused by him. The very bare minimum of human decency, right? And yet, almost no one I contacted cooperated. I gave each con Twitter about 12 hours to reply before I made a decision about whether I thought they supported the decision to come forward or were against making a public comment. Some I gave a little more than 12 hours, some I gave about an hour or 2 less, depending on when I reached out, what time of day it was, and how big the convention was. Many of the people I reached out to didn't respond at all, and those that did had these preset responses. It was so rehearsed and cowardly to me. Only one convention that I reached out to, TrotCon, had publicly stated that they were not going to be allowing Grizzly the Medic, aka Taylor LaSalle, on their premises. And they did it with one word: duh. I made it clear to each social media representative I spoke to, if they are being pressured into silence and want to talk, I could offer them anonymity. I tried to be civil. I tried logic and reason, appeal to emotion. I tried to reach the humanity I hoped these people had, but they refused to speak out against a predator. And that's appalling, morally reprehensible, and honestly terrible optics for all of them. So I've publicly condemned all of the conventions that refused to reply or publicly vocalize support, and I moved on. Alongside of all this, BronyCon founder and leftist activist Purple Tinker was harassed by Josh Dean and his supporters for demanding her legacy not be smeared by Dean's arrogance and greed. Purple Tinker has poured her heart into making amends for what her successors have done, and has started raising funds for charities like RAIN, a sexual abuse survivor charity. And the fact of the matter is, this isn't an isolated issue, and has never been. The idea that a sexual predator would be working at a major convention was bound to happen eventually, and I'm surprised it didn't happen sooner, because the Brony community is what I like to call a predator wonderland. Firstly, the Brony community is a target-rich environment. The 2 groups most vulnerable to sexual abuse are disabled people and children, and Brony has a lot of both. This creates an abundance of vulnerable individuals that put predators at an advantage. Secondly, the community is highly averse to confrontation, painting it as drama almost universally. There is this disgust towards arguments and controversy, this hatred of it, that makes people who have been taken advantage of afraid to come forward. This makes silencing victims a lot easier for predators. And lastly, eroticism towards underage My Little Pony characters has become dangerously widespread. I am not saying that drawn pornography creates pedophiles, but it is a tool that pedophiles use. These three factors make fandoms like the Brony community very attractive to predators. I know, it sucks to say out loud, and it must piss you off a lot to hear it, but it's the truth, and instead of fighting it or ignoring it, the community needs to fix it. It is the responsibility of adults to protect and educate children so that they can succeed when they're older. I don't care if you asked for the responsibility, because no one else did either. It's time to suck it up, put on your big kid pants, and put in the labor to make this community safe again. There are resources in the description on how to report a sexual predator, how to know when you or someone you love is being abused, and mental health resources for PTSD, complex PTSD, and anxiety disorders. Take the time to educate yourselves and do better. Stay safe, stay smart, and stay informed. And I'll see you in the next